Hi, I'm Linda Ewald, and I am here to tell you the truth about the VA health care system, particularly the one in San Diego. This is a story about my husband, Dan Ewald, and how they killed him. He went in just feeling a lack of appetite. Okay, they make tests, shows something, and they do a biopsy. Now you would think that they would call you to let you know that it is cancer. Well, guess what? They never called. We waited and waited and waited for their phone call. It never came. We had to go into their clinic, talk to the nurse who made a phone call. Only then did the doctor call, and when he did, he complained about the nurse chewing him out about not calling. They decided to put him on this treatment, and after doing some research, we went back to the next scheduled appointment, told them we did not want that treatment. We wanted the low chemical treatment. Well, the Dr. Anderson, through a hissy fit, threatened to not treat him. Now, maybe it's just me because I'm a CNA, and last I looked, a patient could decide on what treatment they would choose. There was a big row. The head macho come in, finally talked us out of it. Okay. About a week later or whatever, he was in a little bit of pain, so I called him. No answer. No answer. No answer. I finally took him into the emergency room so we can get a prescription for pain meds. This was the mistake. Number one, they never told us that the pain medication they were going to give him could cause him to go confused. Well, that's exactly what happened. I took an alert husband in, came out with a confused one. Also didn't tell us that it could destroy his liver. And that's exactly what it did. I made numerous phone calls trying to get him in early. None was ever answered. Not a single one. Finally go in for the scheduled appointment. I explained to the doctor what was happening. They took him off the pain medication, which was no big deal because after the second pain medication and he was so confused, I took him off of it myself. Told me that he would come alert. He didn't. Said it'd only be a few days. Well, he never got alert. He came more confused, more confused. I made 5 to 10 phone calls to their social services department. None was ever returned. None. Finally, I called because he was getting weaker. And I left a message for Dr. Anderson. Surprise! They called. She told me to bring him in. Okay, I did. I put him in the camper so I can lay him on the bed. We get there. I get him off the bed, okay, but he goes down. I literally had to call 911 from their parking lot. Explain the situation. 911 operator called the VA Medical Center in La Jolla. And their answer to that was, oh, well, it's not a real emergency. It made the operator so mad that she intervened and says, I don't think she'd be calling you from the parking lot unless it was an emergency. They come out. It took 4 people to get him off the ground. We get him into the emergency room. And it's the same Dr. Boise that gave him that pain medication. They did some tests. He came back in and said that the pain medication that he prescribed had caused confusion, and that's what it had done. Well, why didn't he tell us? We would not have opted for that pain meds. Also said it could make his liver fail. Well, that's exactly what happened. I threw a hissy fit, threatened to sue. I mean, I really had a fit. I wanted him moved to Scripps Hospital. They argued and fought with me. Finally, they admit him. Deuce a test, which they never told the results. Every time I asked, it says, well, we'll get back to you, we'll get back to you. Finally, they had a meeting with me to tell me that my husband was dying, that he was too weak to switch to chemo, which we had asked previously a month before when he still wasn't weak, and that his liver had failed. While he was in there, I had to stand guard. Mind you, I went to all his doctor's appointments. I would have to leave on the last bus. I could come back in the morning. I discovered he had a decubitus ulcer. I threw a fit. Doctor said, oh, well, there, and I explained to him that nursing homes get fined for decubitus ulcers, and that I wanted him turned every 2 hours. I moved him over to another unit there at the hospital, which basically is for you to die. They told me 2 weeks. It took 3 days. He rallied 2 days before he died. I asked for a cup of coffee. I brought it to him. And Danny will turn to me. He says, I can't have coffee without my baby. I told him he was being romantic. And he said, if you think that's romantic, wait till I lay one on you. God, I miss him. His friend came to see him that day. And when he went to leave, Dan said, didn't say bye, I'll see you later. He said goodbye, good luck. I knew he was saying goodbye. The next morning, there was a change of condition. Basically, he got unconscious. I never received a phone call to that fact. I only discovered it when I got there that morning. I threw a fit again. I stayed overnight. I didn't leave his side. He would respond to my voice till about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, when he became totally unresponsive, eyes peening, and he died the next morning at 8:30. If that wasn't bad enough, they kept me waiting for over a month while his body lay on a slab waiting to be cremated for the death certificate. I showed up there, and my mistake was he had the death certificate in his hands. I should have demanded to see it then, and I didn't. They gave me some excuse about some signature the state wouldn't accept or whatever. I realize now that was a lie. And surprisingly enough, 24 hours later, I have the death certificate, which they listed as lung cancer. Well, he may have had lung cancer, but that is not what killed him. What killed him was complications from his liver failing because of the medication, morphine, that Dr. Boise prescribed. Had he not done that, my husband would not have been weak. He may have been able to switch to chemo, and I'd still have him. Now, granted, we knew this was terminal, but they knew he was under full treatment to shrink the tumors to extend his life. Now, maybe my husband we were a May-December relationship, and maybe he was quite older. He wanted the treatment. He did not want to die. He wanted to live as long as he could, and he was denied that. I guess in this country, once you reach a certain age, you don't matter no more. It's okay if doctors like Dr. Boise of the VA Medical Health Center in La Jolla to basically kill him. And no matter how much I complained about this, nothing was done. I contacted a news channel who was very interested and asked me if I wanted to blow the whistle. Problem is, it appears I had to get a lawyer. And problem is, lawyers are afraid of VA. But I'm not. So if you've had similar experiences, please email me at parrotforlife@live.com. That's PARROTFORLIFE@live.com. Put in subject VA mistakes. Leave me your name and your email. Together, we can do something. Our VAs don't deserve to die. People don't deserve inferior medical care simply because they get over 50. I don't care if you are 50, 20, or 70. If you want the treatment, you have a right to the treatment. And you have a right to get good medical care, not incompetent care, as they have done. Thank you for listening, and I hope I hear from you. Please, if you had experiences like this, or had the made mistakes that caused you or your loved one problems of any kind, regardless how minute, please contact me.